He's founder of 6 Hillgrove PR. Richard, good morning to you.
Good morning, James. How are you today?
Really well. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. And of course, for those of you listening, if you want to, you can join us. We're streaming on YouTube and on Twitter. And I only say this, not because you're necessarily going to learn anything particularly exciting. It's just that you'll see Richard's fantastic hat and monumental beard. So if that's what you wish to do, then that's what you can do. We should probably turn our attention, however, Richard, in a moment to the stories that you've picked out. However, before we do that, let's just take a look at the front pages. We'll start off with the Times, which leads with health chiefs confirming that the Oxford jab is safe for us to use. And I think it's fair to say, Richard, that the two stories dominating the headlines today, health chiefs confirming that. So have you had a jab yet?
No, I haven't, James.
Oh, have you been offered?
I have actually, yes. I have to confess, but I'm keeping my powder dry. I think the vaccine is quite experimental, so I think I'll just sit and watch and wait. There's been a few sort of mishaps along the way. The fact there may be blood clots.
We've just been told it's safe to use, Richard.
Apparently, yes. Apparently.
Well, so you're more of an expert than all of the people who have looked. So both the UK agencies and the European agencies have now said it's safe.
Well, yeah, but don't be overtaken by the fear, James.
Well, I'm not. I've had my jab. I'm fine. I haven't died yet.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you having another one shortly?
Well, I'll have another one when they offer it to me, yes.
Okay. Well, here's hoping I don't drop dead.
But the thing is, you see, we've all got to have it, because if we don't all have it, then, I mean, I take the view, right, it's my view, Selfish. Here's my view. So if you're offered the jab, if you choose not to take it, it's your choice. But if that means that you're not allowed to travel, or if that means that you then go and get COVID and you have serious health problems or otherwise, it's no longer the government's responsibility to keep you safe.
Yes. Who's saying that? You're saying it, or
that's
the
my view.
That's
That's my view.
Learn to love Big Brother, James. I think we all do have a choice. It sort of seems like we're being asked, but it really means the decision has already been made. So the asking is kind of a formality. It is very experimental. I think we should say.
But if, for example, another country says you are not coming to us unless you have had the vaccine, would you choose not to travel, or would you have the vaccine?
You're putting me right on the spot now, and I have not made my mind up yet. All I'm saying is there's an opportunity to sit, watch, and wait.
Right.
The idea of everyone having a vaccine passport and 100% of everyone having to be, vaccinated, I think is extreme. And when you talk about herd immunity, and when you talk about the necessity for vaccines, there's very, very different opinions amongst the medical community and scientific community.
Not many.
All of the dissent.
I mean, most of them, the vast majority will say that the vaccine is the way out of it. And that's why all the newspapers are focusing on it, because, of course, we can talk about our own personal views. You're not a scientist. I'm not a scientist. But
PR-wise, the vaccine's the remedy, because it allows everyone to do a sort of parting of the seas and walk through the ocean. And if it's the greatest placebo in the world, it will get everyone back to work and everyone sort of calming down a bit from the mad hysteria, this giant emperor's new clothes that we've been living in for the last year.
Yes, but we've had quite a lot of scientific evidence. Are you saying that that's all rubbish?
No, I don't say it's rubbish. I'm saying there's two truths to this, and
there's only one truth. What do you mean there's two truths to
this? There really isn't one truth. And if you look at the medical community suppressed data, there are very credible people that have been, absolutely annihilated their reputation when they're saying stuff that the government or the mainstream narrative doesn't want to hear about. So these people are getting vilified for objecting to the view that you're now sharing, James. So no one wants to hear the other side, but there is two sides of the same debate.
There's
absolutely.
There's right and there's wrong. Anyway, that's a very dangerous route. We're not going to go down the conspiracy theory route.
Dominate the whole.
If you want to have your vaccine or not, it is down to you, and you can make that choice. Meanwhile, the front page of the Times does tell us that the health chiefs confirm that the Oxford jab is safe to use. Meanwhile, Sturgeon, guilty, and guilty is used in quote marks of misleading the Parliament. The Daily Mail says jab is safe and no delay to freedom. This is Boris Johnson last night urged Britons to get the jab done as regulators declared that the Oxford vaccine is safe. Meanwhile, the I newspaper says that sturgeon is in peril. The Daily Express talks about the vaccine is safe and we're on track to freedom, but also the sturgeon story there. The Daily Mirror couldn't be bothered to write half of their front page because they've talked about the other half where they said exploited 300,000 NHS staff did unpaid overtime in crisis. Oh, what a shock horror that somebody should actually do some overtime. Every job does overtime. Sorry to the Daily Mirror. It's clearly that they don't, because that's why they couldn't be bothered to fill the rest of the front page. Anyway, Daily Star, uni academic is sacked for using too many aggressive question marks. I didn't know a question mark could be aggressive. You can find that story on page 9 of the Daily Star if you wish. The Metro leads on safe and effective EU verdict on the Oxford jab. Meanwhile, The Guardian, Prime Minister backs jab as row grows over boasts about rollout. Meanwhile, sturgeon misled Scottish Parliament MSPs decide. The Daily Telegraph leads on the jab is safe. The thing that isn't safe is catching COVID, as they say. The Financial Times leads on Cameron lobbied for Greensill access to COVID-19 loan schemes. And The Sun leads on a story about betting, which I have to say, Richard, I can sense your excitement already as we fasten our seatbelts for what can only be described as today's uplifting news story of the day. Under the banner headline of Nervous, question mark, I don't think it's an aggressive question mark, nervous, question mark, you bet I was, Cheltenham punter cashes in his £5 wager after fearing his horse could blow the last race, and he wins £250,000. So, it's an excellent example of why the saying goes, you should always quit whilst you're ahead. Last year, racing fan Paul Deeney picked the horses, or rather heaths, as I like to call them. What's the plural of goose? It's geese. Horses? No, heaths. Anyway, so he said he did an accumulator. If all 5 horses won, he would take home a whopping £511,225. He got 4 of them right. After the 4th one, he was wondering. He then went and cashed it in, and he got £250,000 if the horse didn't win, and £322,000 if it did, rather than £500,000, and it has saved him losing the lot. Well, that was absolute foresight there. Oh, imagine winning 250 grand on an accumulator. Oh, gambleaware.org, obviously, beware of the risk. Richard, I mean, that's after 4 wins. That's pretty good foresight, isn't it?
It's fantastic foresight. Has anything like that ever happened to you? I sense it may have.
No, I have never won anything on anything. I mean, I've done the national lottery and won a few fivers and tenors and things like that. And I think I won a tube of tennis balls in a raffle once. That's it. I never win on things like that.
Yeah, I won a grocery sweep at my child's school. But yeah, like you say, a 5 or a tenner. But these things always happen to someone else, don't they?
They always do. Richard, we're going to turn to the stories that you've picked out from the papers in just a few moments' time. You are listening to Talk Radio. It's 6:15.
Online, on DAB+, and on the Talk Radio app.
The ultimate kick in the teeth, really, to our NHS heroes.
Talk Radio. So, you're walking along and suddenly it hits you. You've lost your keys. A few seconds of panic, but then you find them. In your coat, where you put them. Phew. Now that feels like winning. So roll with it and turn today into Wednesday with a scratch card. Make today a Wednesday with a scratch card from the National Lottery. Your numbers make amazing happen. Search Dream Big, Play Small. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 16 or over.
Give yourself a Diet Coke break.
Hello, Tesco shoppers. Please only use your club card power to lower prices. Like zapping large Easter eggs from £3 to £2, including Terry's chocolate orange. Please don't use its power to transform other shoppers into Easter bunnies. It's not good for their knees. Thank you.
Get exclusive deals on Easter eggs at Tesco with your club card or app. The power to lower prices. Selected large Easter eggs available in the majority of larger stores. Excludes Express since 23rd March. Club card or app required. Delivery charges may apply.
It's a perfect moment when you find exactly what you're looking for. Finding your new BMW couldn't be easier. With BMW New Car Locator, you can search for your perfect BMW from the range available today. Reserve and buy all online. And you can arrange to have it delivered to your door or click and collect it from the BMW Center. Search BMW New Car Locator. Subject to availability. Delivery charges may apply. Participating retailers only. T's and C's apply.
Responsibly sourced Arabica beans, freshly ground to order, with organic milk. And McCafe white coffee, just 99p. And with the My McDonald's app, order 5 hot drinks and enjoy your 6th on us. Simple. Price and participation may vary. Terms apply. Free hot drink must be regular size. Ends 31st of December 2021.
Hello, Specsavers here. We know being able to see and hear keeps you connected to your world and the people you love, especially during lockdown. And eye tests can help detect a range of underlying health conditions too. So we're letting you know our stores remain open, with current guidance allowing you to leave your home for eye and hearing tests. We have all the necessary measures in place to keep you and our colleagues safe, in line with government and NHS advice. We're open to care for you. Find out more at specsavers.co.uk.
At Vodafone, we understand the power of connections, like those children make in their brains every day. Every time a child learns something new, a new connection is made. But to make those connections, children need to be connected. That's why we're donating thousands of 4G dongles and asking you to donate unwanted smartphones and tablets. Search Vodafone Tech Appeal today and help a child connect and learn. Vodafone. Keep connecting. For info and terms, visit vodafone.co.uk/techappeal.
Talk Radio. Traffic and travel.
Police have closed the M25 QE2 bridge. It's closed from junction 30 going clockwise at the A13 Lakeside to junction 1A. As a result, the diversion is on the A13 following the hollow black triangle symbols. Now in the West Midlands, the M6, they're doing some works there at junction 10 at Wolverhampton. Lane is closed. South Yorkshire, the A61 in Sheffield Queens Road by Grenville Square, that is closed in both directions. That's the latest. I'm Gary Scott.
The UK COVID vaccination programme is underway.
And right now, teams of chemists in Wrexham are working through the night
to roll out the vaccine created by scientists in Oxford.
A vaccine made possible by families volunteering for trials here in Belfast.
That's being distributed to those most in need through community leaders in Dunfermline.
Find out more about the UK COVID vaccine rollout at gov.uk/coronavirus.
Talk Radio. Across the UK. Early breakfast with James Max on Talk Radio.
19 minutes past 6, going through the papers with Richard Hillgrove. He's founder of 6 Hillgrove PR this morning. Richard, so let's turn our attention to the stories that you picked out from the papers. And let's go to the Daily Mail. Talking about William and Kate. I suppose, look, we're still dealing with the fallout from that interview, and I suppose how the publicity machine is trying to put William and Kate back in our minds.
Well, I think it's just the beginning as far as Meghan and Harry are concerned. I say Meghan in front of Harry because I really do think this is driven by Meghan and her team. I think Harry's a little bit unaware of the strategy, but Meghan has very much created...
Do you think there is, I mean, two things here. First of all, I mean, I'm now beginning to nick the name that I saw somebody else call her, which is Me Gain, as opposed to Meghan. But also, there is, it seems to be that there is a strategy, isn't there? I mean, as a PR professional, do you look at that and think, this is not somebody who's just trying to fight, if you like, their corner. This is somebody who clearly has a very strategic game plan.
Absolutely, and obviously has an enormous number of backers and supporters with the strategy. It does seem to be a little bit of a woke takeover of the world, led by the Queen of Wokes, Meghan Markle, and everyone who came out after the interview was quite a surprise. You've got Hillary Clinton saying how wonderful she was, and Joe Biden saying how brave she was. I mean, unbelievable that the US president, after an interview like that, you know, which should be a little bit of tittle-tattle, is defending or talking or even sort of quoted talking about Meghan Markle and her ordeal. And it does seem to be a little bit of a woke takeover of the world, as far as I can see.
If you were advising Prince William and Kate and indeed other members of the royals as to how to recover from this, what have they got to do?
Well, I think right now they have to do what they're doing, which is being very visible. And it does seem to be a war of public service. I mean, a life of public service is Harry, even though he's excommunicated. their whole strategy is visiting charities and going to places. I mean, Kate's been out at the vigil, you know, in secret, but still on the front cover of all the newspapers, so not so secret. You know, they went to this, they did a FaceTime. This is a story I picked out of the Daily Mail today, a FaceTime with a paramedic's dad in Bangladesh. And they've been very, very visible and mobilized in spite of all the COVID restrictions to counter this new parallel monarchy that Meghan is trying to create using Harry. It's kind of like Stranger Things. She's sort of using Harry as her host. And he allows her to feed, you know, she feasts off the status of the whole entire royal family because of her marriage to Harry. And she's now become this parallel queen, if you like. And it's not quite a nightmare. They've got to really, really stay abreast of it. Otherwise, they might take over the hearts and minds of the world.
Well, there is a clear battle to be played there. I dare say, as you say, it's not over yet. Meanwhile, to The Guardian, they have a story which looks into lockdown boredom and what it's been doing to certain parts of the economy.
Yes, I mean, this is ridiculous because you're seeing a situation. It's predictable as well, of course, but there's £7 billion from the UK gaming industry, and 1.6 billion more of that is compared with 2019. So you've got a 30% increase in the number of people spending on video games. So obviously all this virtual reality is coming in. People are slowly getting themselves into their pods. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but this whole idea of the new normal being
Perish
at home.
the thought, Richard, you haven't done that already today?
No, well, I didn't think I had, but, you know, I've been lambasted once.
It's all right. There's plenty of people.
I'm all for getting into the Matrix pod with nutrients coming into the back of your head while you play your video games. And anyway, the statistics show that everyone's happy to be locked down at home permanently in their virtual reality headsets.
Well, I guess there is that, and of course, as you say, the UK video games market has been absolutely going great guns, and we saw those stories about the sellout of the latest Sony edition of their PlayStation, various other machines, just selling out. Meanwhile, let's go to the Eye, and this talks about families divided. So, 30 years after the nation was divided over coal, it would appear as if we're divided over coal again.
I don't know how this one crept through the net, because I thought we'd sort of finished with coal, and the PR with when you see Boris Johnson on the front cover of every magazine with Sir David Attenborough saying our green future, and we're one of the speeding on the electric car highway, and we are the sort of kings of environmental awareness, and then suddenly we're getting coal again. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. It's divided the town, but I think it's going to divide everybody.
You see, I don't think I have a problem because I like coal. I think coal's the most extraordinary thing, and I know that we're not allowed to burn it anymore, but I'm really sorry, but I love a coal fire. And this comes from somebody who drives an electric car, and I have done for the last 12 years. So
I like a wood fire. I love a wood fire, but I've heard they're even going to think of banning wood fires shortly.
Well,
but anyway,
yeah, well,
I'm against that.
I'm against banning wood fires, and I'm against that. And also, I love a charcoal barbecue. Lovely. Oh, delicious. When you get I mean, we're almost at barbecue season, Richard.
All right, then. Let's open all the coal mines again, then.
Yeah, no, I think maybe we should. Meanwhile, hang on a second. Now, this is one of the stories that I picked out, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about what we've missed whilst our backs are turned. And this is the story in The Sun about Bournemouth Council, that they're going gender neutral. I mean, if I lived in Bournemouth or anywhere around there, I would be furious with these people.
Well, it's ridiculous. There's 395,000 residents there, and that they're going to. I don't know whether they're telling everyone who works for the council. There's 5,000 who work for the councils in Bournemouth, Christchurch, and Poole. They have to change their name. Whereas all the residents have to change their name. But anyway, they're not to be called Mr. or Ms. or Mrs. They're to be called MX, which sort of sounds a bit bizarre to me. And maybe it sounds a little bit like your porn name in some ways, but obviously you need a couple of extra X's on the end there. Well, MXXX.
Well, quite. I mean, I can't remember. I think to find your pornography name, I think what you have to do is you have to name your. I think it's your first pet.
That's right.
And then it's the street that you live.
Oh yeah.
And then that comes with your adult superstar name. So I think
what's yours?
I think mine is Humphrey Wildwood. So there we
Mine's
go.
Champ Terrace.
There we go. That's my adult film name. And dare I ask what yours is before we move on to your last story?
Yeah, Champ Terrace.
Champ Terrace.
No, Champ Terrace.
Yes. That's fantastic.
Don't expect to see any films with that name anytime soon.
Oh dear. You see, there we go. It always raises a smile. Meanwhile, you see, every day's a school day. Meanwhile, we turn our attention to the Daily Telegraph. It's a year of coronavirus lockdown. Oh, we've had such fun.
Oh my God! Yeah, I'm just frightened to say anything about coronavirus now because you seem to be such a fan of COVID.
I'm not a fan of COVID, and I tell you the reason why I'm a fan. Very quickly, I'll tell you why I'm a fan of the current measures and the vaccine. Simply because I never want to see it again, and and they've told us that this is the way out. We're going to do it. And if this is the way out, then that's fantastic. And if it's not, then to hell with it, and we just get on and live our lives.
The problem with setting all these conditions, and then freedoms are now all completely eroded now. So the new normal is this high idea that we're going to be unlocking, and it's an irreversible unlocking. But unfortunately, the Prime Minister is characterised by massive and utter U-turns. And if he's got this medical clergy that he listens to all the time, that says
if that
Brazilian
happens,
variant, Guatemalan variant,
yes. No,
Tahitian variant. Let's all lock down again.
No. Not again. Anyway, we must leave it there, Richard. If people want to find out about 6 Hillgrove PR, where do they go?
Go on your iPhone and tap in 6hillgrovepr.com.
There we go.
Love to talk to you.
Thank you very much indeed. That's Richard Hillgrove from 6 Hillgrove PR. You can find them online and see what they're up to. So there we are. That's our papers reviewed. Time now to say good morning to Julia Hartley-Brewer. Hello.
And a very good morning to you.
Here we are.
Guess what? The AstraZeneca jab is safe. Like, we all knew that. But according to the Europeans, they finally discovered it is. But yes, Boris Johnson